How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh from Elder Drunken Highlander. I'm here in my bathrobe for yet another online CEDH tournament. I've done this once before with Founders Cup. Now I'm on another internal CEDH tournament with the Cabal Cup. That's what I'm calling it. It's officially the Cabal Cup with the Cabal, which is a bunch of people that I practice CEDH with who are pretty fucking good. I'm playing Brallin Shabraz because I thought if I'm playing against people who I consider better than me, I should play the deck that requires me to outplay them so I can practice and get good. And I'm immediately being punished because it's round 1, and I'm going last against Alchemist, Kahlua, and Comedian, so fuck me. Anyway, this is going to be like a little tournament report style video. I'm going to show little snippets of my games and summarize each one. There'll be 3 rounds, and it's cut to top 4, so we'll see how I do. It's just a fun little practice tournament for us to kind of like continue to hone our skills, and we're going to see how I perform with a deck that's more challenging than my usual Teamer Malcolm shenanigans. Let's get into it. Okay, so round 1 just finally ended, and finally, it was actually kind of quick, and I won it. I took it. I'm really surprised that I actually took it. I was against Jetmir Stacks, which is like a deck that is kind of good against my deck, and then of course Roger Silas, which is a deck that's just good in general, and Blue Farm, which is the best deck in the fucking format. Apparently. Honestly, I got very, very lucky. I got wheeled into like an 11 card hand at one point while Roger Silas was trying to go for it and couldn't. I had the interaction to stop him if he did, but I ended up not needing to do it. And then also Blue Farm tried to go for a Thoracle win and got stopped and then ended up dying to the same windfall, so it worked out really great for me. I oopsed right into Curiosity combo and I won it after attacking the Roger Silas player for lethal with my commanders so that they couldn't use interaction to stop my win. It was really close, and I think if Ian untapped and got another turn, he would have won. He was telling me that after the game, and I believe him because Jetmir is terrifying. So yeah, that's game 1. I can't believe I took it, so I'll go submit my results, and that's the end of that. We'll see how I do round 2. I think part of the reason I was able to take that round is because like what normally happens, the condition that Brallin Shabraz wants to achieve in any game is everybody has tried to win and nobody has gotten there. Everyone's just kind of gassed out and wants my deck to do its thing. Everyone wants my deck to wheel and give them 7 new cards. Everyone wants my deck to punch one of their opponents in the face for 12 with one of my commanders. Everyone wants my deck to go off because my deck is the kind of deck where it can really only target one player at a time, sort of actively, but not really. In reality, I'm constantly pushing for a win where I'm trying to kill everybody at the same time with Breach or Curiosity, but it can really only go for one player at a time on the board. So what it looks like, what you want to try to do with the deck is you want to try and enable it to do its thing to stifle your opponents and punish them, but in doing that, you end up giving me cards to win. And then also things that people do incidentally in the game, like casting a big wheel trying to win, just give me a nuts amount of value. Adnaz was turned off in that game immediately because Brallin became a 6/6 and started smacking people. Like, it's just, I think there's a lot of pieces to the deck that can't be easily quantified by listening to a deck tech or looking at the deck, and I think you just gotta play it a lot and really know the feel for it, and once you get there with the deck, it's a surprisingly powerful CEDH deck. It's just hard to quantify. Oh my god, is it sweaty though? I'm so... You notice I changed into a shirt. It's because the bathrobe was too hot. Not like I'm too hot. I mean, like I am. Have you seen me? But also like... but also just like... Oh my god. It was nerve-wracking. I was so glad that it's an online tournament, not an in-person tournament, because I would have been with the sweat. It was really bad. But we took it. It's over. Let's get on to the next game. I am going first, which is great, but I'm against a shoddy Jamaica dude, Z-Rob, and Mikey Hallahan, recurring vlog guests. Mikey, he's playing in this one, and I'm not excited about it because this pod is me playing a deck that's about bullshitting with three people who are very good at seeing through my bullshit. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this is. I don't think I'm going to take this one. I think the Shark's going to get killed a lot, and I'm not going to be able to get a lot of things going on in this game in terms of value for myself. Breach might be my best line to go for here because I don't think they're going to let me do my usual stuff at all. We'll see. Alright, so that was the end of round 2. We drew round 2, so I'm 1 win, 1 draw, no losses, baby. That was a little weird. The reason we ended up drawing the game is not because we went to time or turns or anything like that. It was because Zane playing Najila had a very, very mired and kind of fucked up breach line, and it got a little funky in the end, and it got into like a king-making scenario in which he was just kind of picking an opponent to win. There's a lot of conversation. There's a little bit of just like really questionable table talk, and we ended up deciding to draw the game. Zane like won technically, but I don't know, it was very sloppy and very questionable, so we ended up all agreeing to draw the game. So, I mean, I had absolutely no shot of winning that, because I was firmly in first place when Zane started doing brain freeze stuff, so he got rid of me really quick, and I'm really happy with the draw, because I couldn't have won. So yeah, that one went interestingly. If I win the next one, I could be in finals, which is kind of fucking hype. I'm against Lurker, Veyron, and Mr. Bruce, the guy who killed me at Tier 1 Con. He's playing Winota. I'm playing a deck that has a much better Winota matchup, so we'll see how I do. We'll see how it goes. It's Najeela, and it's Malcolm fucking Vial Smasher, so I need to be respectful of the Malcolm, pressure out that Vial Smasher deck, and I just can't let Najeela gain any ground. If I win this, I'm in finals, so high pressure, good luck to me, let's do it. So game 3 was wild, and I ended up winning. It was kind of sketchy, but it ended up happening. I actually, it was a pretty nuts game. I had a pretty early Rhystic Study after a mold of 4, which was really nice. That helped me not die. But then after that, I kind of didn't do that much. I didn't get that much gas. Didn't get the things I needed. I ended up having a Curiosity in my hand, so I tutored for Faithless Looting so that I could set off the chain and get to 8 cards on hand in my end step, but I got Git Probed by Veyron, and he passed with a bunch of mana open after Git Probing me, so he signaled that he had interaction in hand. I didn't think that my Curiosity would land, so I didn't want to go for it and get blown out. I had Mindbreak Trap in my hand, so I was waiting for enough mana to hard cast that when it looked like shields were down. Sadly, moment like that never really came up. I almost died at one point, if I had rolled incorrectly on Mana Crypt, I would have died, so that was bad. I almost died to Najeela damage. I ended up getting really low, having to do a bunch of creative shit to get back up to a decent life total. I went up to 5. There's a Force of Will targeting my Curiosity with Vial Smasher trying to hit me, so I had to use the Cephalid Coliseum that I had on board to gain life, and this is where I misplayed. I cracked my Lotus Petal and forgot to tap a Mox Opal for mana, and because of that, I couldn't use the Mox Opal to hardcast the Mindbreak Trap and to protect my win, so I couldn't go for a win, and I couldn't protect the Curiosity. So that kind of sucked. But Mr. Bruce on Winota was out of the game the entire time because I mana drained his Winota mega early. He just couldn't get back into it, and because of that, I was really only having to keep track of 2 players. Veyron went on his turn, and I passed the turn after the Cephalid Coliseum with Force of Will, Swan Song, Mindbreak Trap, and Daze in my hand. Veyron goes for a Final Fortune. I cast Daze, targeting it after he taps out. He has to protect it with a Pact of Negation, so that way he can't finish his win. He doesn't have enough mana to win on his turn. He's 1 mana off from winning with Fastest Oracle. Then he casts Time Twister, hoping to get some fast mana and some more juice because he loses at the end of this turn. At this point, we're in turns for the round. He doesn't get it, but that puts me up to enough life where I'm not dead on board with the Najeela deck. Then Lurker takes his turn. He goes to try and look for some way to win with Najeela, ends up not being able to do it, and I get to my turn, and I'm able to close it out with damage from the Shark, combined with just going for an Intuition into a Brain Freeze combo into a Wheel, targeting Bruce with all the Brain Freeze stuff so he dies, because there was another turn after that. And that was the end of the game. It was crazy. I'm in the middle of getting ready for the next round right now. It's finals, and I'm against Mikey, I Rage Your Fridge, aka Sean, and Luke, Unorthodox Bird. That means 50% of this fucking team is Elder Drunken Highlander Discord regulars, because me and Luke, we be on the Discord talking about mostly casual, actually. And the 100% of this pod is fucking goons who I am friends with. So that's pretty great. No matter who wins here, it's gonna be a good fucking time. Everybody here is just really swell. There's 2 Blue Farm decks and Grixis, so I'm the slowest deck at the table. We'll see how it goes. I mulled to 5, but I have a good hand. Alright, so it is the day after the tournament, the morning after the tournament, actually. Whew! We didn't win, sadly. Unorthodox Bird took it, so actually I'm pretty happy about that. Sadly, that was a lie. That was a lie. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about that. No matter who took it, I was gonna be happy because everybody was a homie. But really happy that Unorthodox Bird finally won a CEDH tournament and or entered a CEDH tournament, because that was his first ever tournament. So I think he should just drop out now when he has a 100% win rate. That's what I did with Fortnite. Yeah, the game was really quick. I mulliganed low again and kept a turn 1 Mr. Gamora, which ended up paying out great for me. Unfortunately though, I did not have enough free interaction in my hand to keep pushing ahead of all the turbo decks. I just got Force of Will, and that was it. And after using that, I was spent, and I couldn't stop all the win attempts coming out from all the other players. Mikey just didn't have anything, which I really thought he would have something. Come on, Mikey, like that's your thing. You're known for that. He get probed me, and he was like, wow, Josh just has a very responsible hand. Look at that, he's got a bunch of interaction, great. And that was nice, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to dissuade Luke from going for it anyway. So sadly he got it. Overall tournament notes, it was just a big fucking pile of turbo decks. Other than my deck, the only non-Grixis X turbo decks that I saw was Mr. Bruce's Winota and Jetmir. And I think that was it. Like, literally Winota, Jetmir, Brallin Shabraz, Roger Silas, Blue Farm. I don't know if there are any other decks. There might have been some Thrasios Timna, but like it's all various Nas piles. So that was super interesting. I'll post all the deck lists for the tournament, all the brackets and everything in the description. You guys can look through it and see all the stuff. MVP of the tournament for me had to be Days. We saw Days in every single fucking game, and except for finals, I think. And it was good. It was real good. I got 2 Final Fortunes with it, and Alchemist got Ian's fucking Archon with it. So that was lit as fuck. So shoutouts to Days. It's just a great card. More people should play Days. Going down a land is very worthwhile when it means not losing the game, which is what Days says. So if you're playing against a lot of turbo, Days is the card for your deck. It was a meta call for me putting it in Brallin Shabraz, and I'm very, very happy that I made that meta call. I'm also on like Misdirection and a bunch of other free stuff. My overall take on Brallin and Shabraz in tournaments, I know this wasn't a like super indicative tournament of the overall like CEDH tournament meta, just because like A, it was my friends, and B, it was, you know, a bunch of fucking turbo decks. Like, come on guys, play something else, please. Actually don't, because I have a pretty good matchup. But like, I think CEDH tournaments have, in my experience, a little bit more broad variety of decks. Brallin Shabraz is a very strong deck into turbo or stacks, but not so much other mid-range value piles. It really struggles to close the game against other decks that do well in the conditions that it tries to create. So playing like a pseudo control mid-range with like action in the command zone is great until your opponent is playing like Thrasios, Timna, like light stacks, I don't know, Hermit Druid or some other stacks resistant win con. And you're like, oh crud, now they're putting like Collector Oof and other stuff into play, and they also want the game to go along, but they have an I win button that's somewhat more consistent than mine, and they're aren't gonna die to my commanders because they're playing a lot of removal. So stuff like that, those are the kind of decks that beat it, but I didn't see any of those, so fuck yeah. Yeah. So I did pretty well, actually. I don't know if there's anything I could have done to win that finals game. I think I mulliganed about as low as I could have gone. I think a turn 1 Mr. Gamora is a great way to go. Sticking it with Force of Will protection was awesome, and then having the Force of Will to try and stop something was great. The other 2 players just didn't have anything. It was just kind of fucked. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna fucking do? That was a pretty good game. Also, like, the likelihood that I didn't draw another free interaction spell was also kind of low, given that I'm on literally fucking all of them. So that was obnoxious, but whatever. I had a big giant grip of cards there, so that just happens sometimes. That's just how the games go. It's just how it is. I don't know if I'm gonna bring Brallin Shabraz to a bigger tournament, and the reason for that is because one of my games went to turns, the one with Winota and Mr. Bruce. I was literally the last turn of the game when it went to turns, and another one of my games, the one with Zane, went to time more or less, and I like, honestly, like, yeah, most of that was Zane doing his thing, but a lot of the reason it took so long is because my deck has so much fucking free interaction. It just makes the games go on for a long period of time. No one really fucked with my commanders that much this tournament because I think the turbo players don't care. They're just like, well, whatever, they're a win con, I'm just gonna go faster than it, and that's, you know, exactly what I want. But I think in a tournament, you're gonna run into two things. One, experienced players who are playing decks similar to mine, who understand what my deck's trying to do, and will take out its commanders because they don't want to do that. And inexperienced players who have no idea what my deck does, just know that my commanders are important to my strategy and cost a lot of mana, and you're just gonna like blast them randomly for no reason, which is gonna lose me the game for two reasons. One, I don't have my commanders anymore, and two, that need to be like, usually you use your fucking removal on things that stop you from winning the game immediately, and in my experience when playing against players who like to just fucking blast my shark that's not even attacking them because they're not playing the color black, they then will commonly lose to something like, I don't know, Winota or another creature that needs to be removed even more because they're like, oh, but it does something I don't quite understand, it's important to strategy. So I fear running into that at tournaments, and also, but mostly I think my most legitimate, that's like a pseudo-legitimate concern. I think the most legitimate concern is the fucking time extension issue, which is like, how do I play this deck in 75-minute rounds when I'm extending time? So I'm not sure if I'll bring it to the next tournament. I might just stick with Pirates, but I am very proud of the deck, and I am very, very confident that now it is a contender. It's not just a fun little meme deck. It's a deck that I can play to the same potential as Teamer Malcolm. At least that's how I feel. I don't know. It really is like a 3-color Jeskai Nas deck. It's really funny playing against all these Rog Silas decks and being like, wow, we're basically the same deck, more or less. We're doing the same kind of thing. We're playing our commander, which is a payoff at that casting a wheel. That is more or less what both decks are trying to do a lot of the time. Like, they have Nas, we have Breach combos that we can get more easily with intuition stuff. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but like Savine's Intuition and Nas, similar 1-card combos you could tutor for that get you the rest of your deck to win. So I think they're comparable in the way that I built my deck, at least. It's very different from the ones in the database. So if you're interested in playing like a turbo mid-range deck, is how I describe it, I would check out Brallin Shabraz. The deck list is down in the description. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I really enjoyed recording this little tournament report and playing in this tournament with my friends. I'm going on a stream later and I'm pretty tired, so we're gonna call it here. I don't know, stay janky, my friends. Or actually, this is CDH. Stay optimized, my friends.